Hi everyone, I'm Jacy from Craft Life and I'm here today to teach you how to make a Rainbow Loom 3D owl. You can make yours all one color or you can add some colors into it like this one. The supplies you'll need to make this are one rainbow loom, a rainbow loom hook or a crochet hook, and some rubber bands. Today I'm using brown, blue, and orange. You will also need scissors, and for the eyes I am using buttons, but you can use whatever you would like. And with the buttons you will also need a Sharpie to draw the eye on, like this one. And also, if you are using buttons, you'll need some dental floss. And last but not least, you will need something to stuff your owl with, and today I'm using polyfill, but you can use cotton balls, tissues, or even napkins, but you can use whatever you would like. So please get your supplies and we'll begin. To begin, we need to set up our loom, so we're going to start by taking out our middle row. Then we are going to take this row and we are going to turn it around so that its arrows point to the left. So now push this all down, and we're going to take out the big blue piece on the back. So now make sure everything is pushed down, and we're going to lay X's on these pegs. And we're going to double X the ends because we want a rounded top. So we're going to twist it around our finger for the first one. And we're going to make an X from here to here and press it down. Then we're going to twist it around our finger again and make an X from here to here and push it down again. Now, from now on until we get to the other side, we're just going to lay normal X's like these. And we are not twisting them this time. And make sure you push them down as you go. So now on this end, we're going to double X it. So we're going to twist it around our finger and then make an X from here to here and push it down, and then do the same thing again. So now push this down, and we're going to lay X's from peg to peg all the way down. And on the ends again, we're going to twist it around our finger and make an X. So now until we get to the other side, we're just going to lay normal X's. So we're not twisting them around our finger, and you're just going to push them down as you go. So now from here to here, we're going to twist the rubber band around our finger and then make an X from here to here and push it down. So now push this all down, and we are going to lay our top row. So on this top row, we're going to start from on these two pegs. And do not push this row down, and we're just going to lay rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation all the way around. So now we have a top row and a bottom row, and we're going to go in a clockwise rotation, and all we're going to do is take our hook, and on the ends, you have to be very careful because they are twisted around your finger, so they're doubled. And what you need to do is stick your hook down into it and then bring it over the top. Now do the same for this one. Then for the rest, until you get to the other side, you can just hook normally. Now once you're at the other side, you want to stick it down and then bring it over. So push this all down, and we're going to go on the other side and do the same thing. So stick it down and bring it over, and continue. So now push this down, and the rest of the rows from here to here and all around are going to be much easier because all you have to do is bring 2 loops over instead of the doubled rubber bands. So we're just going to lay another row in a counterclockwise rotation and do not push it down. So now we have a top row and a bottom row, and what you're going to do is bring your bottom loops over the top, and each peg is going to have 2 loops that you're going to bring over. So now push this down, and we have just done 2 rows, and an owl takes up 20 rows. So if you're going to make your owl all one color, you're going to do 18 more rows of laying your rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation, then bring your bottom 2 loops over the top in a clockwise rotation and push it down as you go. Now, if you are going to do more than one color, you're going to do 9 more rows of this so that you have 11 rows in total. So if you are going to be doing that, I'll be right back to show you how. I just finished my 9 more rows, and now I have 11 rows in total. And this is only if you want to add the second color. If you don't, you can just keep going with your same color. But I'm going to be switching colors here to make the stomach. And for this, you'll need your second color, and you're just going to start by going around until you get all the way down. So just go around like this in a counterclockwise rotation. So now when we get to here, we're going to leave 3 pegs on both sides. So the colorful pegs are going to have 5. So it's going to be 5 rubber bands in the middle, and then 2 rubber bands on each side. So we're just going to do 1 rubber band here. Then we're going to do our second one. And we're going to switch color here. For the 5 pegs. And then once you get to these 3 pegs again, you're going to lay your same color again. So that is what it should look like. You have your pegs here with the colors, and then 3 pegs on either side are going to have brown, or whatever color you are using for your body. So now we are going to bring our bottom loops over the top like we normally would. So just bring your bottom 2 loops over the top in a clockwise rotation. And then do the same thing down this side. Now push this down and we're going to do another row. So now we're going to start with our body color and then go around again. So now again I have those 3 pegs that I'm going to lay my brown on. And it is only 2 brown rubber bands, not 3. Then I'm going to switch my color on these 5 pegs. And then on these 3, I'm just going to lay my body color again. Now each peg has 2 rubber bands and we're just going to bring those 2 over the top. So we have just done 2 rows of our other color, and you want to have 7 rows in total, so please continue this for 5 more rows. So you're going to lay your rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation, and again, when you get to the 3rd peg, you're going to switch color, and then when you get to the 3rd peg on this side, you're going to switch color again, back to your body color. And then each peg is going to have 2 rubber bands, and you're just going to bring them over the top in a clockwise rotation and push them down as you go. So please do 5 more rows of this and I'll be right back. I just finished my 5 more rows and now I have 7 rows in total. And now we're just going to finish this off and do 2 more rows and then we're done. So we are going to just lay our rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation. And we are just doing it all one color this time. We are not switching color. And do not push these down. So now we have a bottom row and a top row, and we're just going to bring our bottom 2 rubber bands over the top on all of our pegs. Now you're going to push these all down. Now we're going to lay 1 more row Now we have a top row and a bottom row, and we're just going to bring our bottom 2 loops over the top on all of our pegs. Now we're just going to push them all down. Once they are all pushed down, we are going to hook this all off, but since we went in a counterclockwise rotation, we need to take the top loop on this one and switch it to the bottom. So what you're going to do is take the top loop, and you're going to put it on your finger. Then we're going to take the bottom loop and hold it on our hook. Then put the rubber band that's on our finger down, and then the one that's on our hook. So now we can hook it all correctly, and we're going to start on this peg, and we're going to go in a clockwise rotation. And I know this was my bottom loop because it hooked the loop behind it. So make sure that yours is the bottom loop too. And it's a good thing that I made that fix because that was my bottom loop and it hooked all the loops behind it. So please continue this all the way around and check as you go. Now on our last peg, we're just going to stick our hook in, grab a rubber band, put it on our hook, pull it through, and place it back on, and then pull one loop through the other. Now we need to sew this all up into one, and to do that we need to make a chain like this one here. And to do that, we are going to take 2 rubber bands, stick them on our hook, take another 2 rubber bands, pull them through, place it back on, and pull these 2 loops through the other 2 loops. Now we're going to do that same thing over and over again. So pull these 2, like that. And you're just going to do this and make sure you are using 2 rubber bands each time. And you want to do this until you can count 10 of them. So you should have a chain of 10. So please make that and I'll be right back. Now, once you have your chain of 20 rubber bands, which is also 10 loops, we are ready to sew it through our owl. So we are going to start on this peg, the slip knot peg. We're going to stick our hook in and grab the top and pull this through until you have your last loop sticking out, your last 2 loops sticking out. Now, we're going to stick our hook up and then pull this down. pull our chain down. Make sure you don't pull too much because you want to have some extra on the end to tie it off at the very end. So what we're going to continue doing is sticking our hook up and then pulling this down. So stick your hook up and pull this down. So just continue this. I did not make it to the very end, and all you have to do now is pull them off. But only take off the ones that have your chain on it. So now all you want to do is gently pull so you get some extra out of this that you can use for the rest of our rubber bands that we need to put on this. So now what we're going to do is just continue going around. So stick this up through and pull this back down. And we can just take that one off. And then we only have one more row to do. So we're just going to go down this row. Finally on my last one, and I'm just going to pull it through and take these off. Now you can pull it through again some more, but don't pull it too tight because we still need to stuff it. And when you turn it upside down, we need to attach eyes here and the nose and then do the ears. So we are going to make those parts and I'll be right back. Now we are ready to attach the eyes, and for my eyes I'm using buttons, and all I did was take a Sharpie and draw a circle around the buttonholes, and you can do that too if you would like. And I forgot to mention, you will need black rubber bands for the eyes. So we're going to start by taking a rubber band, twisting it once on our hook, then taking another one, twisting it once, and then pull these two loops, place it back on, and we're going to pull these two loops through the other two. So we just doubled it, twisted it I mean, and we pulled it through each other. And we're just going to do that one more time. So twist it on our hook, and then pull this through. Place it back on and pull these two loops through the other two loops. Now we're going to do the same thing for the other one. So twist it on. And then place it back on. And pull these two loops through the other two loops. Then take another one, put it on, twist it on, then pull this through, place it back on, pull these two through the other two. So now we have them ready for both eyes. So now we're going to take our dental floss, and we're going to take one end of our chain, and we're going to stick it through both loops. And then put the two ends together and twist them. Now we're going to take our button and go up through one and then down through the other buttonhole. And then you just need to pull very quickly and it will go through. And if it breaks, you might have to try again. And mine went through luckily. So now you can just pull it off. And we need to add one more to both sides for tying purposes. So we're going to twist it on one more time. Pull it through, place it back on, and pull these two loops through the other two. Now do it for the other side too. Take one rubber band, twist it, and then you're going to pull it through, place it back on, and then pull these two through the other two. So now it should look like this, and you have long enough strands on both sides to tie it on. And we're going to do the same exact thing for the other eye. So now once you have both of these done, we're going to take our owl and we're going to find where we want to place them. And you want them extremely close to each other, just maybe 2 rows apart. So I'm going to place mine on either side. So find the middle, and I'm going to place one here and one here, like that. So I'm going to take my hook, and actually you're going to fold this down so you can get to it easily. And I'm going to stick my hook up where I want the first side of one eye, and I'm going to place it there, and then the other one's going to go there, and then it will just work out if you put it there. So now I'm going to pull one side through, make sure you have both of your loops. If you lose them, you can just go back and get them. Now you're going to hold this on your hook. Make sure you hold it. And this is going to be difficult, but you need to stick your hook back up next to it. Make sure you're still holding those loops back down on your hook. And you're going to grab these loops and pull them down as well. And make sure you don't collect any loops like I did inside, so I'm going to take those off and try again. So I have mine down, like that. And now I can just tie these two together if they look correct in the front, which they do. So just push this all down so you can make a knot. And I like to use my hook for this if it's needed, because I can hold it and then use my hook. But the hook is not always needed, only if they're too short. So now, once I have one eye in, I need to do the other one. And since this one is like that, I'm going to probably place the next one right here. Make sure they are in the same row though. Straight across, I'm going to put it right here. So they sit right next to each other. And I'm going to take one side first, pull it down, and remember, hold it on our hook, and then we're going to go back up in the same row. and grab the next rubber bands and pull these down again. So now just make sure they're on the same level. And actually, I found out before I tied mine that they're not. So you can look from the inside too to make sure that the rubber bands are in a line. So I'm going to switch this one down to this one so they all are equal. So if it helps, you can just stick it up where you need it and then grab it. And now, since they are all in a line, I'm going to tie them together in the back. Just tie them twice. So now, since they are so close to each other, when you put in the stuffing, it will just blow it all up and they will be farther apart. And you can fix them up if you would like. And now we are ready to attach the beak. Now we are ready to make the beak, and for this you will need orange rubber bands. So we're going to start by putting 2 rubber bands on our hook. Then we're going to grab 4 more, place them on our hook, and pull these 2 off. And then put those 4 on, place them back on, and then you're going to pull these 4 loops through the other 4. And pull this nice and tight. Then we're going to take 2 more rubber bands, place them on the top of your hook, pull them through, place them back on, and pull these 2 loops through the other 2. So now I just wanted to show you that my eyes are 2 columns apart, and I'm going to put my beak right in the center of these columns. So I'm going to fold this again. And I'm going to stick my hook up right between the eyes. Not right between, but down a little. Like right there. I'm going to pull my first side down through. So now we're going to pull this up on our hook, and you're going to hold this again. And I'm just going to go 2 down, so right here. And then I'm going to pull these 2 down. And as you can see, it's pulling the 4 rubber bands too. And I'm just going to take that black rubber band off. Now we can just tie them together, but make sure that it looks good in the front first. And it does. So we're going to tie them loosely together. Don't tie them too tight, or else you will get to see inside of your owl, which you do not want. So just tie them so that the 2 knots meet up there. And then tie them again. So now if you want, you can fix up your 4 rubber bands there to make them look more like a beak. But I like mine just how it is. And now we are going to stuff our owl, so you're just going to use the material you're stuffing yours with. And we're going to start with little pieces and stuff it. So now, once you have as much stuffing as you would like inside of your owl, we are going to sew up the bottom, and to do that, we are just going to take the rubber bands, the sewing rubber bands, our chain, and we're just going to gently pull them tight Pull them as tight as you can, and try not to break any rubber bands as you do it, so be very careful. And that's as far as mine can go, and all we're going to do is sew up the rest. So tie these two in a knot. So just tie it in a knot. I did mine in a double knot. And then you can cut it off. Cut some off. Don't cut it all off. And we are just going to tuck these inside. And then if you want, you can just put the tiniest piece of stuffing in to cover it and hold it down. So now we're going to sew it up, and we're going to stick our hook on that brown rubber band or slip knot, and we're going to take another rubber band and add it to it. So place it back on and then pull one loop through the other. Now we're going to sew it up in T so it's a rounded bottom, and we're going to stick our hook in across from it. Facing downward, you're going to pull this through. Then we're going to go on this side, the side next to it, and we're going to pull it down and through. And then we're going to go straight across from it. Pull this through. And we're going to sew it up 2 more times, right here and then straight across from this. So just pull this through. And then one more on this side, straight across from it. So now with this, we can just tuck it into our owl, and I'm going to sew between the columns and just pull this through. And once you have sewed it down in enough, it should stand. And for the ears, you can use whatever color you want. I'm going to be using blue because that's what I used for the stomach. You can just fix it up. So now for the ears, you're going to take a rubber band and your hook and stick your hook in through its ear. Just grab a few rubber bands, pull this through, and we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut one end and hold the other. Then we're just going to hold one side and then pull the other side through, like that. And what you can do is just tie these two together in a double knot. And you're just going to do that so you have 3 of them. Okay, so it can be kind of tricky to get it through some rubber bands, but you just have to keep trying. And again, we're going to cut it, and then hold one and pull the other side. And we're going to tie these two together. And it does not matter which direction they're facing. And we're going to do it one more time. So hold one side and pull the other. And we're just going to tie these in a double knot. Now we're going to take that same color rubber band, we're going to stretch it out and hold all of them in a group, and we're just going to start twisting this around them. So start at the bottom and just keep wrapping at the bottom too. Don't go up too high. I'm going to do mine for one more twist. And then you can let it go. And they will go in all different directions, and that's how it's supposed to look. Then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. So just grab a few rubber bands. Grab a rubber band. Pull it through. Take your scissors. Cut it. Hold one side and pull the other side. And just remember to double knot them. Now you can just pull your ears up more to make them look like ears. And your owl is done. This is what they look like when they're done. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And if you make some, I'd love to see them. My Instagram is CraftLifeUSA, so please tag me in a photo. And don't forget to like us on Facebook, pin it on Pinterest, and subscribe right here on YouTube. I hope you live in a craft life just like me. Thanks for watching. Bye!